sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded. That's right, we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch broadcasts, it's so easy. Just go to Reaver.1 and click on the SHRT button. Or you can go to Facebook. Just look for Reaver of Common Sense. You can go to YouTube. Search SHR Media. There's so many different ways, so many ways to view this show. I can't even count. So we're doing Facebook Live. What else? YouTube, of course. And we're broadcasting on HP Pundit and SHR Media. So we're expanding. We're pushing the boundaries. I got a few new toys that I'm working on and seeing how everything goes. So how was everybody's weekend? Mine was good. My daughter actually got to stay home from school today. It was kind of funny. For me, it was kind of funny. The school had, what was it? The school shut down pretty much. And it wasn't shut down, but they told the parents that it was an excuse that happens for the kids to stay home that day. So, of course, my daughter, who always wants to go to school, was actually, I'd like a day off. I was like, all right, cool, stay home. My wife was a little perturbed. She should go to school. You know, that happens. Yeah. Got to give her a break here and there. So on Friday, I had so much technical difficulties it wasn't funny. I have pretty much got all of them fixed. And, I'm looking at the broadcast, and it's looking good. It's looking really good. I think, therefore, I am. And, oops, I gotta fix one last little thing. That should do it. There we go. That should fix everything. And one of the things I want to talk about, Steve Bannon has left the White House. He's resigned from the White House. And everybody's like, oh, my God. That's the end of his presidency. Just everything negative. I don't think it's negative. I do not think it is negative. Why? Steve Bannon. Oh, come on. Check. God damn it. Check. What the flip? Check. 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 God damn it. Mike just totally shut down there. I don't know why. Oh. Goddamn board. Everything's going along good and right down. There we go. I'm sorry about this. You start to brag that everything's going good, and then it all goes to crap. It just goes down the toilet. So everybody's all negative about Steve Bannon leaving the White House. I think it's actually a good thing. And why do I think it's a good thing? Because, well, you see, he couldn't be the mouthpiece that he's supposed to be in the White House. He had to keep a lot of his comments in check. He couldn't go off the rails like he would want to. And I'm not talking cussing and screaming. So he's leaving the White House now. And he's going to become the mouthpiece outside the White House. He's going to be attacking conservatives that just they're not stepping up to the plate correctly. He's going to be able to go after the Democrat Party like Trump can't. He's going to be able to go after the media like Trump can. He's going to use Breitbart as a mouthpiece. This is what I think. I also think that you're going to see that Bannon is going to start a news agent, a news television station, something to replace Fox. Fox has swung so far left, it's not goddamn funny anymore. And I think he's been working with some rich billionaire, Mercer, I think it is. And there's a lot of rumors that those two are going to band together. What the heck? Now what's going on? Now what the heck? It's not one thing, it's another with these goddamn electronics. All right. Shit. Let me check out one last thing. I'll bet it's my shit. I don't know. Hopefully I'm broadcasting. On one section it says I'm broadcasting. On another one it says, oh, no, you're not broadcasting. But I think you're going to see Bannon hook up with this billionaire, and they're going to start a television station. I want to check something real quick. I think President Trump is speaking, and he's talking about Afghan. We're going to go live to Trump.
People are weary of war without victory. Nowhere is this more evident than with the war in Afghanistan. The longest war in American history, 17 years. I share the American people's frustration. I also share their frustration over a foreign policy that has spent too much time, energy, money, and most importantly, lives, trying to rebuild countries in our own image instead of pursuing our security interests above all other considerations. That is why, shortly after my inauguration, I directed Secretary of Defense Mattis and my national security team to undertake a comprehensive review of all strategic options in Afghanistan and South Asia. My original instinct was to pull out, and historically, I like following my instincts. But all my life, I've heard that decisions are much different when you sit behind the desk in the Oval Office. In other words, when you're President of the United States. So I studied Afghanistan in great detail and from every conceivable angle. After many meetings over many months, we held our final meeting last Friday at Camp David with my cabinet and generals to complete our strategy. I arrived at three fundamental conclusions about America's core interests in Afghanistan. First, our nation must seek an honorable and enduring outcome worthy of the tremendous sacrifices that have been made, especially the sacrifices of lives. The men and women who serve our nation in combat deserve a plan for victory. They deserve the tools they need and the trust they have earned to fight and to win. Second, the consequences of a rapid exit are both predictable and unacceptable. 9/11, the worst terrorist attack in our history, was planned and directed from Afghanistan because that country was ruled by a government that gave comfort and shelter to terrorists. A hasty withdrawal would create a vacuum that terrorists, including ISIS and Al-Qaeda, would instantly fill, just as happened before September 11th. And as we know, in 2011, America hastily and mistakenly withdrew from Iraq. As a result, our hard-won gains slipped back into the hands of terrorist enemies. Our soldiers watched as cities they had fought for and bled to liberate and won were occupied by a terrorist group called ISIS. The vacuum we created by leaving too soon gave safe haven for ISIS to spread, to grow, recruit, and launch attacks. We cannot repeat in Afghanistan the mistake our leaders made in Iraq. Third and finally, I concluded that the security threats we face in Afghanistan and the broader region are immense. Today, 20 U.S. designated foreign terrorist organizations are active in Afghanistan and Pakistan, the highest concentration in any region, anywhere in the world. For its part, Pakistan often gives safe haven to agents of chaos, violence, and terror. The threat is worse because Pakistan and India are two nuclear-armed states whose tense relations threaten to spiral into conflict, and that could happen. No one denies that we have inherited a challenging and troubling situation in Afghanistan and South Asia, but we do not have the luxury of going back in time and making different or better decisions. When I became president, I was given a bad and very complex hand, but I fully knew what I was getting into, big and intricate problems. But one way or another, these problems will be solved. I'm a problem solver. And in the end, we will win. We must address the reality of the world as it exists right now, the threats we face, and the confronting of all of the problems of today, and extremely predictable consequences of a hasty withdrawal. We need look no further than last week's vile, vicious attack in Barcelona to understand that terror groups will stop at nothing to commit the mass murder of innocent men, women, and children. You saw it for yourself. Horrible. As I outlined in my speech in Saudi Arabia 3 months ago, America and our partners are committed to stripping terrorists of their territory, cutting off their funding, and exposing the false allure of their evil ideology. Terrorists who slaughter innocent people will find no glory in this life or the next. They are nothing but thugs and criminals and predators and, that's right, losers. Working alongside our allies, we will break their will, dry up their recruitment, keep them from crossing our borders, and yes, we will defeat them, and we will defeat them handily. In Afghanistan and Pakistan, America's interests are clear. We must stop the resurgence of safe havens that enable terrorists to threaten America and we must prevent nuclear weapons and materials from coming into the hands of terrorists and being used against us or anywhere in the world, for that matter. But to prosecute this war, we will learn from history. As a result of our comprehensive review, American strategy in Afghanistan and South Asia will change dramatically in the following ways. A core pillar of our new strategy is a shift from a time-based approach to one based on conditions. I've said it many times how counterproductive it is for the United States to announce in advance the dates we intend to begin or end military options. We will not talk about numbers of troops or our plans for further military activities. Conditions on the ground, not arbitrary timetables, will guide our strategy from now on. America's enemies must never know our plans or believe they can wait us out. I will not say when we are going to attack, but attack we will. Another fundamental pillar of our new strategy is the integration of all instruments of American power, diplomatic, economic, and military, toward a successful outcome. Someday, after an effective military effort, perhaps it will be possible to have a political settlement that includes elements of the Taliban in Afghanistan. But nobody knows if or when that will ever happen. America will continue its support for the Afghan government and the Afghan military as they confront the Taliban in the field. Ultimately, it is up to the people of Afghanistan to take ownership of their future, to govern their society, and to achieve an everlasting peace. We are a partner and a friend, but we will not dictate to the Afghan people how to live or how to govern their own complex society. We are not nation building again. We are killing terrorists. The next pillar of our new strategy is to change the approach and how to deal with Pakistan. We can no longer be silent about Pakistan's safe havens for terrorist organizations, the Taliban, and other groups that pose a threat to the region and beyond. Pakistan has much to gain from partnering with our effort in Afghanistan. It has much to lose by continuing to harbor criminals and terrorists. In the past, Pakistan has been a valued partner. Our militaries have worked together against common enemies. The Pakistani people have suffered greatly from terrorism and extremism. We recognize those contributions and those sacrifices. But Pakistan has also sheltered the same organizations that try every single day to kill our people. We have been paying Pakistan billions and billions of dollars. At the same time, they are housing the very terrorists that we are fighting. But that will have to change, and that will change immediately. No partnership can survive a country's harboring of militants and terrorists who target U.S. service members and officials. It is time for Pakistan to demonstrate its commitment to civilization, order, and to peace. Another critical part of the South Asia strategy for America is to further develop its strategic partnership with India, the world's largest democracy and a key security and economic partner of the United States. We appreciate India's important contributions to stability in Afghanistan, but India makes billions of dollars in trade with the United States, and we want them to help us more with Afghanistan, especially in the area of economic assistance and development. We are committed to pursuing our shared objectives for peace and security in South Asia and the broader Indo-Pacific region. Finally, my administration will ensure that you, the brave defenders of the American people, will have the necessary tools and rules of engagement to make this strategy work and work effectively and work quickly. I have already lifted restrictions the previous administration placed on our warfighters that prevented the Secretary of Defense and our commanders in the field from fully and swiftly waging battle against the enemy. Micromanagement from Washington, D.C. does not win battles. They are won in the field, drawing upon the judgment and expertise of wartime commanders and frontline soldiers, acting in real time with real authority and with a clear mission to defeat the enemy. That's why we will also expand authority for American armed forces to target the terrorist and criminal networks that sow violence and chaos throughout Afghanistan. These killers need to know they have nowhere to hide, that no place is beyond the reach of American might and American arms. Retribution will be fast and powerful as we lift restrictions and expand authorities in the field. We are already seeing dramatic results in the campaign to defeat ISIS, including the liberation of Mosul in Iraq. Since my inauguration, we have achieved record-breaking success in that regard. We will also maximize sanctions and other financial and law enforcement actions against these networks to eliminate their ability to export terror. When America commits its warriors to battle, we must ensure they have every weapon to apply swift, decisive, and overwhelming force. Our troops will fight to win. We will fight to win. From now on, victory will have a clear definition: attacking our enemies, obliterating ISIS, crushing al-Qaeda, preventing the Taliban from taking over Afghanistan, and stopping mass terror attacks against America before they emerge. We will ask our NATO allies and global partners to support our new strategy with additional troop and funding increases in line with our own. We are confident they will. Since taking office, I have made clear that our allies and partners must contribute much more money to our collective defense, and they have done so. In this struggle, the heaviest burden will continue to be borne by the good people of Afghanistan and their courageous armed forces. As the Prime Minister of Afghanistan has promised, we are going to participate in economic development to help defray the cost of this war to us. Afghanistan is fighting to defend and secure their country against the same enemies who threaten us. The stronger the Afghan security forces become, the less we will have to do. Afghans will secure and build their own nation and define their own future. We want them to succeed, but we will no longer use American military might to construct democracies in faraway lands or try to rebuild other countries in our own image. Those days are now over. Instead, we will work with allies and partners to protect our shared interests. We are not asking others to change their way of life, but to pursue common goals that allow our children to live better and safer lives. This principled realism will guide our decisions moving forward. Military power alone will not bring peace to Afghanistan or stop the terrorist threat arising in that country. But strategically applied force aims to create the conditions for a political process to achieve a lasting peace. America will work with the Afghan government as long as we see determination and progress. However, our commitment is not unlimited, and our support is not a blank check. The government of Afghanistan must carry their share of the military, political, and economic burden. The American people expect to see real reforms, real progress, and real results. Our patience is not unlimited. We will keep our eyes wide open. In abiding by the oath I took on January 20th, I will remain steadfast in protecting American lives and American interests. In this effort, we will make common cause with any nation that chooses to stand and fight alongside us against this global threat. Terrorists, take heed. America will never let up until you are dealt a lasting defeat. Under my administration, many billions of dollars more is being spent on our military. And this includes vast amounts being spent on our nuclear arsenal and missile defense. In every generation, we have faced down evil, and we have always prevailed. We prevailed because we know who we are and what we are fighting for. Not far from where we are gathered tonight, hundreds of thousands of America's greatest patriots lay in eternal rest at Arlington National Cemetery. There is more courage, sacrifice, and love in those hallowed grounds than in any other spot on the face of the earth. Many of those who have fought and died in Afghanistan enlisted in the months after September 11th, 2001. They volunteered for a simple reason. They loved America, and they were determined to protect her. Now we must secure the cause for which they gave their lives. We must unite to defend America from its enemies abroad. We must restore the bonds of loyalty among our citizens at home. And we must achieve an honorable and enduring outcome worthy of the enormous price that so many have paid. Our actions, and in months to come, all of them will honor the sacrifice of every fallen hero, every family who lost a loved one, and every wounded warrior who shed their blood in defense of our great nation. With our resolve, we will ensure that your service and that your families will bring about the defeat of our enemies and the arrival of peace. We will push onward to victory with power in our hearts, courage in our souls, and everlasting pride in each and every one of you. The United States, our military, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, that's the end of the speech. I was having some massive problems trying to get some things to work. I got some work to do. I had to shut down the Facebook page. I know most people, well, not the page, but the Facebook broadcast. I'm putzing around on oh, boy. I need a better computer. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to, get back into the show. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Oh, that's why that mouse isn't working. Using the wrong mouse. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Let me see something. Oh, I'm trying to see what's going on. It's a pain in the ass. I did a test program and everything was good. Everything was good. But no, it all of a sudden went to hell. Today, with the live broadcast. I'm serious, it went great this weekend when I tested it. Everything was looking great. Oh, yeah, no problem. Go to do it live, and of course, it goes to shit. Murphy's Law. So, what I've done is, can't forget that one. Removing some of the graphics from the screen and seeing if that helps with the streaming of this. Hopefully that'll fix it. So, as I was talking before I put up the president speaking, Steve Bannon leaving was actually a very, very, very good thing for the administration. They now get to use him as a mouthpiece. He now gets to attack You know, him sitting there, he wasn't really being that helpful behind this. Well, I'm not saying he wasn't being helpful, but he wasn't being able to be used to his full potential behind the scenes. He couldn't attack. He couldn't go after anybody because, well, he works at the White House. You have to have a certain decorum, and you can't do certain things. Otherwise, the liberals go nuts. But when it's vice versa, they're allowed to act like jackasses. But with that, I think it's a very good thing. I think we're going to see a little bit turn. I think Steve Bannon is going to hook up with this one gentleman, and there was rumors that he was talking with Steve Isles about starting a new news agency because Fox is going, well, it's going to shit. I mean, MSNBC has passed it in rating. The funny part is it doesn't look like MSNBC gained more viewers. Fox lost viewers. People stopped watching Fox. They got tired of pretty much the shit. They got tired of it. I mean, how many times do you want to hear them sounding like CNN and MSNBC? They don't understand it. They're suspending, everybody. All it takes is an accusation. And, oh, my God, we got to suspend them. We don't want to look bad. Accusations that 10 years ago, that shit pisses me off. And, all right, I'm a male. I have my opinion. I've talked to a lot of females pretty recently, and they all say the same thing. And they're getting tired of it because it puts a negative connotation on any sex accusation anymore because women are doing it just to be spiteful. Women are doing it for political purposes. They're getting paid off to do it, and it's damaging the whole environment. Is getting a negative connotation because of it. It's not that it's negative to make those accusations. Listen, if you're sexually harassed and the man did it, the man needs to be beat down. Plain and simple. But these accusations are coming years later, and it's turning into an absolute joke. Absolute fucking joke. It pisses me off when I start hearing. Just letting everybody know, this segment's going to be a little short because I got to get back on schedule with the breaks and where the show goes. From listening... Oh, man, just from one thing to another. I just realized something. My mic was never giving me a problem. It was my headset. Oh, boy. I must have sounded like a dumbass a couple times. So, I think it's going to be a good thing. You're going to see Bannon, and he's back at Breitbart. He's going to go on the attack, and he's going to hit him hard. He's going to stand up for Trump, because no one's really out there standing up for Trump. Nobody in the media. You know, there's a couple of conservatives left at Fox that are willing to stand up with their morals and do what's right. Even Tucker lately has been a little wishy-washy, and it's been a little... So, we'll see how that goes. Let's see something. He's going to go on the attack. Seeing how the broadcast is going. So we will see how it just goes. I think, like I said, it's going to be good. We need a new radio or news station. The ones we have out there are absolutely crap anymore. They're too paid off. Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch is pissed off and a sellout. And he's no better than CNN, MSNBC with his broadcast anymore. His two sons are liberal piece of trash. Yeah, I call a liberal piece of trash. You know what? I'm getting tired of trying to be nice and trying to play fair while they play dirty pool. You know what? Fuck that. You want to go underhanded? I'll go underhanded. So it's just, hey, play like you're being played. So. All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Well, I try to at least. The Jersey Takeover is here, and we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's pretty easy. Just go to Reaver.one and click on the SHR Media button as I play with the damn board. There we go. I changed some things during the break, and I should know better than to do that. Oh, I'm such a dumbass sometimes. So I'm trying to figure out. Now, I've lost track on computer parts over time. And I know I'm going to have to get a better motherboard and CPU for the computer so I can handle better streaming. Thing is, I don't know which ones to get. That's the problem. And I'm like, damn it, I got to go and buy more RAM and all that shit. Oh, crap. So I'm looking, and all I was reading is I need more core. The higher the core processors, I guess that's what it is, the better. So I'm looking at least a minimum of 4 core, a quad core. I wish I knew what I know it's FM2. Now, my other question is, FM2 motherboard can it handle FM2 plus? Is there a difference between the two? It's like, oh shit, I don't know what's going on. Now all of a sudden, Siri decides to pop up. I didn't touch my cell phone, and Siri popped up and picked up on my conversation. Oh, lordy, 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 I got gremlins. That and the other thing I want to try, I'm going to start looking around and seeing, even if I can upgrade, if I can get the same RAM that I'm using now, because the RAM's handling it. It's not using up all the RAM on my computer. So I got enough RAM, it's just the CPU processing is hurting big time. So hopefully I can upgrade and still get one that uses the same RAM that I'm using. That would be perfect. Keep the cost down. Keep the cost way down. Let me see. So, and with that, we're going to get back to the show and get going. I do apologize for the yammering and yammering, yammering and yammering and yammering. The only one thing that really makes me wonder with these is, okay, I think it's, what is in this computer? All right. This has got a 3.8 gigahertz. Okay. Well, should I replace it with another 3.8, but it's a quad core where I think this is a single core or some shit like that. See, that's stuff I don't know, and that's why I need to find someone that knows about computers inside and out. Just clicked in my head, I know who to talk to now. Ha 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 ha. All right, now we're going to get on with the show. Oh, New Jersey. California failed with their gun tax, and they failed big time. So what does New Jersey do? Well, they're going to try it. Well, that's what they're talking about. They just released a plan to raise $1.3 billion a year in new taxes. Though we aren't the New Jersey Fiscal Policy Society, we do object to Murphy's absurd proposal to tax guns sales as a way to prevent violence, which has failed in Seattle big time. In fact, they haven't made any of the money that they thought they were going to make. I mean, they bombed big time because why? You just go outside the areas to get what you need. So that's basically what's happened here is all right, people aren't going to like the New Jersey tax, so what do? Well, it's according how they do it. Do they do it when you go to the police station to file for your permits for each gun? Secondly, you're only allowed one pistol per month. So how are they going to get that through? Sorry, I'm taking a look at something. That's weird. Shit's just weird all over the place. Now, it's funny. I'm looking up where I bought the parts from, and it's telling me it's a 2 gigahertz when it's showing 3.8 gigahertz. So maybe it's overclocked itself. I don't know. According to Murphy's plan, all gun sales should be subject to a tax that will fund law enforcement, drug treatment centers, and mental health service. While Murphy's fact-free campaign to become New Jersey's next governor is cheered on instead of critically analyzed by our state's liberal media, at least one absurd Murphy tax proposal won't go unchallenged by New Jersey 2As. New Jersey 2As is, as you can see, it's a pro-gun in New Jersey, which is really hard because, well, it's a communist state anymore. For the purpose of saving space on the internet, I'm not going to insane debunking Murphy's madness. We're going to break down a proposal of 3 basic issues. Numerous studies have shown that as gun sales have increased, gun crimes have plummeted. That's a fact. Whether Murphy wants to accept it or not, actually the city of Seattle saw a surge in gun violence after implementing a tax on all guns and ammunition. It's the equivalent of registering a fee to register to vote and saying the fee goes towards election integrity. Murphy's law of respect for the Bill of Rights, unless it benefits him politically, is striking. Given New Jersey's one handgun a month law, how could Murphy claim his proposal would raise enough revenue to fund law enforcement, drug treatment center, and mental health? It's safe to say Murphy's anti-gun comrades at New Jersey's advanced media, NJ.com, won't be grilling him on that last question, or even ask him for specifics on the gun sale tax proposal beyond fluff campaign rhetoric. Observer Media did get a campaign spokesman on the record stating that they didn't consider that revenue significant enough to factor into the $1.3 billion plan. That's $1.3 billion a year in taxes from... Oh my God, this guy that's an absolute pipe dream. Pipe dream galore. I mean, come on. They really think they're going to be able to raise that? People just go to other states, and what they're doing is, then they wonder. Then these dumbass politicians sit there and wonder, why is everybody leaving New Jersey? Why is everybody moving out? We don't understand. Why is everybody moving out of state? Why? We don't know why. Because you're taxing the people to death. You're taxing their constitutional right. I mean, come on. I mean, literally, you are taxing their constitutional right. I mean, it blows my mind. And only the Second Amendment would they think about taxing. Hang on. Could you actually imagine them proposing a tax for free speech? Fucking Supreme Court would shoot that down so fast it wouldn't be funny. And you know what? You want to know why Supreme Court doesn't want to touch a lot of the gun regulations? Because they would have to knock them down and embarrass all the liberals. So yeah, I don't see that happening anytime. Well, I see it happening in New Jersey, but no other state. And it doesn't raise the money that they think. Seattle, they won't show their figures because it's such a failure. They won't show their figures. That's what's funny. They won't show their figures. I just found something out about the computer. I can actually upgrade. It does take a FM Plus socket. Woohoo! Yay. Yay me. Oh, boy. That's going to be one of those shows, isn't it? Oh, what is this witch's name? I can never remember this woman's name. I'm already putting up the other wife. Let's see. Bum-ba-da-dum-bum-bum. Bum-ba-da-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum. I'm liking this new mic, I'll tell you that. This new mic I have is fucking nice. I love the way it looks, too. I love the way it looks. And it sounds great. All right, hold on. Falarka. Yvetta Falarka is an Antifa protester. Says violence against the far right is not a crime. Then violence against the far left shouldn't be a crime either. But Yvetta Falarka, a Berkeley area school teacher and militant left-wing protester responsible for organizing the riot at the University of California, Berkeley in February of 2017, claims that violence against the far right is not a crime. Falarka, who belongs to By Any Means Necessary, a far-left group, is currently facing assault charges after she was caught on video assaulting a white supremacist during a July 2016 rally in Sacramento, California. The school teacher and her compatriots engaged in violent clashes against members of the far-right Traditional Workers' Party, which had a permit to march in the city. The violence between the two groups resulted in a number of assaults and multiple stabbings. In July 2017, police charged Falarka with assault by means of force likely to inflict great bodily injury, participating in a riot, and inciting a riot. As reported by Huffington Post on Wednesday during her arraignment, Falarka described her action as a form of self-defense and therefore not a crime. Standing up against fascism and the rise of Nazism and fascism in this country is not a crime. We have the right to defend yourself. Well, problem is you have to wait. It's funny, she's allowed to defend herself, but nobody else is allowed to defend themselves. She's the one attacking. And it's a total twist because she's not defending herself. She's being on the offensive. So it's like, damn, do these people not understand that? Do these people not understand that they're not defending? They are attacking? I mean, we're not talking rocket science here. We really aren't. All right. I mean, I don't know. But as reported by Huffington Post on Wednesday during her arraignment, Falarka described her action as a form of self-defense and therefore not a crime. Standing up against fascism is not a crime. Falarka previously justified her actions to Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera, folks. She stated that neo-Nazis were organizing to attack and kill us, so we have a right to self-defense. That is why we have to shut them down by any means necessary. Now, can you prove that they were out to kill you? I mean, you just can't. I mean, I can sit there and go and say everybody's out to kill me, so I have the right to go out and kill everybody. No, you have to prove it. They had no weapons. They were out there talking. You were the one out there, well, being violent. It's that simple. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. The activist made similar statements during her appearance on Tucker Carlson tonight when she described conservative firebrand Milo as a fascist and urged others across the United States to organize mass violence against people like Milo to shut them down. She is next scheduled to appear in court on October 4th. Oh, I hope that woman sees a nice amount of jail time. I know that's not nice to say, but you know what? I'm getting tired of these people that just think they can do whatever the hell they want. They're running around, and it's getting dangerous out there. I mean, it's almost beyond dangerous for what the hell they're doing. I don't know what the hell I mean, they're not out for the best of the United States. The problem is they see their side getting defeated very easily, and they're getting violent. And Rush Limbaugh put it best. And I've talked to a lot of people, and they're saying the same thing. They could see a civil war at any moment. Any moment they can see the Civil War breaking out because people are getting tired of the violence. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. We now have one person dead because of the violence. And it's going to get worse, people. That's not a good thing. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded I hate it. Damn it, why does that look crooked? We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it is so easy, even a liberal can do it. Just go to Reaver.1 and click on the SHR Media or SHR TV button. You can go to Facebook. Well, not tonight, but you can go to Facebook on the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm normally live streaming there. You can go to YouTube and search SHR Media. While you're there, don't forget to hit subscribe. It's the little things in life. So, in 2018 midterms, Dems target 80 House seats. Republicans respond by going on the offense. I would have responded with laughter. Listen, I'm not trying to undercut or underestimate the Democrats. They're going to have problems just getting enough to retake the majority, let alone take 80 seats. That is, oh my God. That's kind of funny. I don't know what the hell's going on. Oop. Whoa. Turned on. I thought I was plugged in to keep the sound off. Next year's midterm elections already have Democrats dreaming of winning a lot more than the 24 seats they need to retake the House majority. That's 24 seats they need to retake the House majority. They think they could take 80. That's 3 times more. We are building the largest battlefield in a decade, Tyler Law, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee spokesman, claimed. My question is, how are they going to finance that? How are they going to finance that? They're pretty much broke. I'm being serious. They're broke. Republicans have money out the ass right now, but nobody is donating to the Democrats. They're like $3 million in the hole. How do they plan on financing these midterm elections, let alone winning? I mean, you need money. I mean, it doesn't take money to win an election, but it does take money to beat an election. It's ambitious, to say the least. Right now, National Democrat organizers believe that battlefield encompasses an eye-popping 80 districts across America, even though they've lost all 4 of this year's special election contests for seats held by Republicans. While many of those 80 districts may indeed be long shots, the Democrat Party's best chance of picking up seats could come in the 23 districts where voters split their tickets last year by picking Hillary Clinton for president and a GOP lawmaker for House. And as a Democrat talk about electoral battlefield, they are placing new emphasis on recruiting candidates who actually have served on a real one, veterans. That's actually kind of smart of them. But the one thing that they're kind of forgetting about is, I've heard this rhetoric from the Democrats before, Nancy Pelosi, how they're going to win all these seats. We're going to win all these seats back. We're going to take the seats back. We're taking control. Okay, there's those 23 districts, but there's other districts where Trump's leading in those districts. I mean, it could wash out to a solid even. So it's not an easy, we're just going to win. But, picking up veterans, that's kind of smart of them. I'll give them that. That was smart of them. Come on. Trying to see if this is working now. And veterans obviously have a huge amount of credibility, Law told Fox News. Credibility with Democrats, with independents, and with Republicans. But what's funny is, how many times have you heard Democrats bashing veterans? How many times have you heard them shit all over them? I mean, you have it with the Antifa. They're shitting all over the veterans. They're attacking veterans. Bullshit. This is, they're trying to use them to their advantage, and I call shenanigans. Evil shenanigans on this one. But Republican officials refer to recent history as a reason they aren't panicking. Instead, they're going on offense, and that's what they needed to do. They can't sit back and go, oh, we got this, no problem, we got it, don't worry. No, they need to go on the offense. Just 3 weeks before Election Day in 2016, Democrat House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi was on TV saying they would take the House back, win 30 seats, recalled Matt Gorman, communication director at the National Republican Congressional Committee. We're still in the majority. While Democrats want to flip the House, Republicans have designs on growing that majority. We're going to expand the map into Trump company, Gorman said. To do that, GOP is taking a similar approach as the Democrats, zeroing in on the 12 districts where voters split between picking Donald Trump for president and a Democratic lawmaker for Congress. Democrats may be starting at a disadvantage. The math is slanted against them in terms of how the districts are drawn, said Dave Baylor, election analyst at Real Clear Politics. A big part of the reason for that is gerrymandering, the political and often highly partisan process used by state legislators to redraw voting boundaries. Gerrymandering was notably used by GOP lawmakers in 2010 in several swing states to keep reliable Republican voters in certain areas and reliable Democrat voters in others. Big data has been harnessed to draw these maps with real precision on a block-by-block, house-by-house basis. It's an election attorney stated. This means the list of realistic pickups for Democrats remains short. We've seen over the last 8 years the number of competitive districts go from about 100 to about 24. The Supreme Court soon will hear arguments about how far political maps can be drawn for political gain without becoming impermissibly extreme. The court's ruling in coming months, they won't impact these midterms, but could completely change how national elections are run in 2020 and beyond. That leaves another big question. Which famous Democrat will vulnerable candidates call for help? Barack Obama, Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton? Democrat officials are staying out of the surrogate business for now. That's not our job, and if we tried to do that, it wouldn't be a very good idea. As for Republican surrogate plans, candidates are going to do what's right for them. But I have to say, President Trump has been nothing but helpful. Now, where all this comes about, too, is you have Obama and Eric Holder started that pack up. And what is it doing? Attacking, the districts. They want to redraw the districts, and they know, they're in bed with the companies that redraw the districts. They want to redraw them in the Democrat favor. They're always bitching about the Republicans, but yet that is what they're trying to do themselves. So I find it funny. They complain about it, but that's exactly what they're trying to do. So spare me the bullshit, because, that's pretty much what it is with these Republicans. Ooh, somebody's mad at Dana Perino. Dana Perino can go suck a... Dana Perino, I haven't liked her. She was pissed off when Jeb Bush, she is a Bush fanatic. I was a Bush fan. I'll admit it. I liked George Bush. He was given a pretty shitty hand when he got in office, but that shitty hand got him reelected, because without it, there's no way he would have got reelected. I hate to put it that way, but all right. I'm looking at all my feeds, and they're hit or miss. Video's kind of choppy. I think I found the CPU that I'm going to use. All right. Shut down the Facebook. Facebook's isn't running smooth enough. So they're going to be attacking the brain fart, the districting, and they're going to do everything they can to try to win through districts, not through message. It boggles my mind. It really does. It really does. Instead of trying to change the party to what America wants, they're going to try to change the district to win. It's like, what the hell? What is on their minds? Is it to actually govern or just be in power? And I think that pretty much answers it itself. They just want to be in power. That's all it is. That's all they care about is being in power. Nothing else. Nothing more. This one, I was like, holy shit. CNN commentator and Daily Beast columnist Matt Lewis says President Donald Trump's voters are asses and endorses full-throated attempt to primary Trump in 2020 with someone like Ben Sasse, a never-Trumper. If you're going to call me anything, say it correctly. I'm an asshole. Not just an ass. I am an asshole. And if you want to get correctly, I am a royal asshole. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be a royal asshole. Hey, I started out a private asshole, then went to a major asshole, then a general asshole, and I finally got knighted and became a royal asshole. So, you know what? I have no problem with that, but it just shows their mentality. How do you get people on your side? Let's insult and degrade them. A good-thinking conservative should now commit to supporting a viable and serious primary challenge to Donald Trump in the GOP primary. This tells you right now, he's got to write that. He is not a conservative. He is not a conservative. Anybody that has a brain and is using it, you can see Donald Trump is doing the right thing and giving the right message. His campaign is doing better than most people think. The only exactly what's going on, is the media is pushing and trying to make it sound like there's a big issue. There's not. The louder they scream, the louder they cry, the more I know he's doing the correct job. I'm being serious. The louder they scream on the media, the louder MSNBC and CNN screams, the louder these never-Trumpers scream, the more I know Trump is doing the right job. That's the way I see it. So when I sit there and see this idiot, this should not be a punctuatory exercise, but rather a full-throated attempt to replace him as the nominee. Further, where you stand on this should be considered a defining moment. Personally, I would nominate Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska as the kind of person conservatives should back. That is the type that will sell us out in a heartbeat. Ben Sasse would sell us out for a piece of gum. Lewis says political professionals actually know more than the masses who sometimes are asses. Yeah, that's the way. He's trying to fluff his own ego up because political professionals actually know more than the masses. We are smarter than you. We are better than you. You know jack shit. You know how to do what? Yip. You know how to speak the talking points. You don't know what the people think. You don't know what the people are about, you elitist prick. I don't know. And these idiots just never seem to cease to amaze me. Nope. Coming up on a break. Let's see. And what it is he wants the establishment back in charge. The establishment wants these idiots in charge so they can get their kickbacks, so they can get their money, so they can get their portfolios fluffed up, so that they can become richer on the backs of everybody else. These establishment conservatives that I don't consider conservatives are stepping on the backs of hardworking Americans so that they can have an easy way to live. They're scum. They are absolute scum. Oh, let's see. All right. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying confidence, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, man, where are we? Why is that popping up now? God damn it. That's really weird. That's really weird. Am I still? Oh, boy. It is what it is sometimes. 90% oppose removal, erasure of the Thomas Jefferson or George Washington memorials. Almost 9 out of 10 Americans oppose the progressive demand for the erasure of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson statue and names from public places, says a poll from Rasmussen's report. 90% of the 1,000 likely voters in the August 17th to the August 20th poll opposed the removal of Washington or Jefferson from Mount Rushmore monuments, as they were asked. 2 of the 4 presidents honored on Mount Rushmore were slave owners. Should that monument be closed or changed? When asked, should George Washington or Thomas Jefferson's name be removed from public places and statues in their honor taken down, 88% said the monument should be conserved, and only 7% said they should be erased. The public also is leery of the current political demand to erase Confederate statues erected after the Civil War. Here's what makes me laugh. Democrats are complaining about Democrats putting up statues of Democrats. That's what this all comes down to. Democrats are crying about statues representing Democrat Confederate soldiers that were put up by Democrat politicians. Now, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer were serious about this and thought this was a real problem. Why is it only coming up now? Why didn't they remove it or attempt to remove them when they had majority in the House, the Senate, and the President? Why didn't they do it then? Why did it take Nancy Pelosi 30 years of her being in office? Why? Why? Because it's not really an issue. They're making it issue. They're crying and whining, trying to make a political point. Nothing more, nothing less. Nobody in the country does not think this is an issue. Only a small portion does, because it's politically charged and it's being politically motivated by the left. Otherwise, nobody would really care about this. It's not an issue. And then I had a relative, well, you're worshiping a false idol, he said. I'm not worshiping anything. This is history. A lot of these monuments were put up over 100 years ago. There's places you can't take down a tree because some famous person farted on the fucking tree, and you can't take it down to build a house because of a historical sentiment. Where's the historical society fighting to keep all these up? They've been up for 100 years. They're part of history. Statues themselves are a part of history, and now they're crying to take them down. And you notice the History Society is nowhere to be fucking found. Why? Because they don't have any balls to stand up for what's right. They only do it when it blocks, progress. Oh, you see, some Indian took a shit behind that tree, so we can't cut that tree down. Oh. I know, I went a little wild with that. Ooh. The background's going to move around. God damn it. I'm trying to... I'm getting bigger, I'm getting smaller. I just noticed when I put my arm up, all of a sudden it disappears off the side of the screen here. Whoop! I guess I shouldn't do that. I just thought it was funny. I was trying to make it so whoop, you can see that But I guess I'll have to play with that later. Nationwide, only 28% of likely voters say race relations will be helpful by the removal or erasure of Confederate monuments, while 39% say the removal will hurt race relations, said the poll. What, you think just because they're gone, all of a sudden racism and slavery is going to be erased? No one's going to think about it? Because if an inanimate object such as a statue makes you think of slavery, the Democrat Party will still be there, the actual party of racism. It's all smoke and mirrors to create issues where there is none, to distract. Because I find it funny. First it was, here comes Russia. Russia is coming. Russia is coming. Then it's all the North Korea. Now, then it was Nazis. And now it's, Confederate statues are taking over. It's all covering up because none of the stories before made any sense or anybody believed them. Do you hear about Russia anymore? Why? Because it was a failure. So they have to move on. They have to change the subject. They can't admit they were wrong. They just let it go into nothingness. Nothing. And about 6 months from now, you'll see Mueller come out and they'll be like, oh, yeah, what happened with it? Oh, well, we found out there was nothing to it. Oh, well, that was a while ago. We don't give a shit. But if they came out now going, yeah, we're going to admit, no, we were wrong. You know what? I'd have more respect for the Democrats if they came out and said, you know what? We were outright wrong. We pushed it too far. We're sorry. We screwed up. I have more respect for somebody when they fuck up if they come in and apologize. I know they're not going to do it. They don't have the balls to do it. They ain't smart enough to do it. I mean, Jesus, it just... I mean, that's what this all is. They tried with Russia. That didn't work. They tried with North Korea. That didn't work. Now they're trying with Nazism. That's not working. What they're doing is pissing off the majority of America. When you have a rally in Boston for freedom of speech, and it gets shut down by Antifa and Black Lives Matter, and no violence actually happens because the rally they shut down because they didn't want any issue, which gave them a win. But then you had those idiots like going, shit, we came here for a fight. So what they do? They picked a fight with the police. They started chanting about the police. They attacked the police. Do you hear the left condemning the actions of Antifa? No. Do you hear the media nonstop going, they haven't condemned the actions of these violent left? No, they're actually sitting there making excuse. The media and Democrats are making excuses for the violence coming from Antifa. Does that tell you anything? And I don't think I'm the only one that sees this, because I hear other people, neighbors, friends, and they're all saying the same thing. They see what the Democrats are silent on. They see how the Democrats are making excuses for the violence coming from Antifa. They understand that it's coming from the left itself. And don't you think that's going to play over into the elections? Yes, you're going to have your bi-coastal areas. But that's not big enough. That's not good enough. I think it was my mom, who's usually pretty negative, that everything's going the wrong way. She turned around and she's like, Democrat keeps it up. They're not even going to be a political party. They're not going to have any national wins. They're going to be losing. And I looked at my mom. I was like, you're finally seeing it? When my mom sees it, I'm not trying to knock my mom. She's a very intelligent woman. She can just be a little bit negative from time to time. That's not a bad thing. I'm not knocking that. But when she's sitting there, not being negative, going, damn, this could be very bad for the Democrats, I'm just like, bingo. Bingo, bongo, bongo. It's not good for them. They're in trouble. They're in desperate trouble. And they know it. That's why they're out there banging a gong saying they're going to win 100 seats. We're going to win 100 seats. They're not going to win. They're trying to convince people that things are better. They're hoping people are not paying attention. They're hoping that by them saying how great things are doing and that they're going to win all these seats, that people are like, oh, I guess they're doing better than I thought. Okay, I'll vote for them. People aren't doing that. People are going on the internet. People are looking all over different areas. People see what the hell's going on. They're not afraid anymore. I don't know. It just, damn. And these polls are showing. And these polls, you know, are against these results. And they tried to do everything they could to try to set these numbers up. I don't know. Now, New York Post looks like Wasserman Schultz jailed IT staffers were selling sensitive and classified stolen information to Russian intelligence. So everything that the Democrats blamed Trump for, they had going on their side, and they were financing it. Comes to find out, there was $140,000 worth of equipment stolen by these idiots that the Democrats hid, that they didn't turn in, that was stolen. And this probe is widening. And you're probably aware that on Thursday, a grand jury indicted former Wasserman Schultz IT aide Imran Awan on 4 counts, felony accounts. Most agree that the charges, which include bank fraud, making false statements, and conspiracy, are just placeholders. The investigation into a much larger set of crimes is ongoing and virtually impossible to find anyone who thinks these few meager charges will be the end of the story. According to the New York Post, the probe is widening, and the source indicates that investigators now suspect that Imran Awan and his allies were stealing government information, including classified information, and selling it to both Pakistan and Russian intelligence agencies. Oh, those pesky Russian hackers. No, there's no Russian hackers. It's just Democrats being careless. Federal authorities are investigating whether sensitive data was stolen from congressional office by several Pakistan-American tech staffers and sold to Pakistani and Russian intelligence, knowledgeable sources say. What started out 16 months ago as a scandal involving the alleged theft of computer equipment from Congress has turned into a national security investigation involving FBI surveillance of the suspect. And remember, this is where Debbie Wasserman Schultz threatened the chief of the Capitol Police. She threatened that there will be consequences. Yeah, there's consequences, and she's feeling it right now. I'm just, it couldn't happen to a better person. Investigators now suspect that sensitive U.S. government data, possibly including classified information, could have been compromised and may have been sold to hostile foreign governments that could use it to blackmail members of Congress and even put their lives at danger. This is a massive, massive scandal, a senior U.S. official familiar with the widening probe told the Post. This would explain how an inexperienced IT crew, whose member boasts such resume enhancer as McDonald's Fry Guy, could parlay their general lack of knowledge into a huge $4 million windfall over the last 10 years. The Democrats have hired the 5 suspects, apparently did a poor job vetting them. Awan's brother, Abid, had a rap sheet with multiple offenses, including a conviction for DWI a month before he was hired and filed for bankruptcy in 2012. Most had relatively little IT experience, yet they hauled in a combined $4 million plus over the past decade. One, a former McDonald's worker was suddenly making as much as a chief of staff. These lawmakers allowed an inside threat to come into the House, the official charge. Computer equipment was stolen. Taxpayers were robbed hundreds of thousands of dollars, and sensitive data was compromised and possibly sold overseas. It certainly seems clear that there's more to this story than simple bank fraud and a few lies to federal investigators. The fact that Wasserman Schultz kept these people on her staff until they were arrested trying to flee the country and had apparently planned to keep paying them even when they returned to Pakistan speaks volume. Given all the alarm bells, there's just no sane reason to keep Awans around unless something very serious is wrong. And I'll say it right out loud. They were blackmailing her. That's why she kept paying them. She fell to blackmail. She let them in. They gathered a lot of information, and then they started blackmailing her. Now, Wasserman Schultz has been trying to play the race card, claiming she refused to fire anybody because she believed they were innocent victims of a Republican anti-Islam witch hunt. No one's buying that. The big question is, what do investigators know, and when will the other shoe drop, or will it not drop at all? The sad fact is that we've all grown accustomed to watching obvious corruption go unpunished. Whether it was Eric Holder's multiple scandals, the IRS targeting scandal, the Benghazi YouTube lie, Hillary Clinton's secret server, or the shady tarmac meeting, where we just spent 8 years taking a master's class in the way that the federal government protects and covers for their own. I'd love to be wrong, but I'm not sure why we would think this is going to be any different, especially when it's become a potential to be the final nail in the Russian hacking canard. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. So, Terry McAuliffe, the Virginia governor, signed an executive order late Friday halting demonstrations at Lee Monument in Richmond for the next 90 days. That order violates the First Amendment. In spite of weeks of preparation, the city of Charlottesville was the target of an act of domestic terrorism that cost one woman her life, and it had a helicopter accident that led to the death of two state troopers, McAuliffe said in a statement that accompanied the executive order. In the aftermath of this tragedy, several groups have requested permits to hold similar style events at the Lee Monument in Richmond. State and local officials need to get ahead of this problem so that we have the proper legal protections in place to allow for peaceful demonstrations without putting citizens and property at risk. Let me be clear, this executive order has nothing to do with infringement on the First Amendment rights. This is a temporary suspension issued with the singular purpose of creating false, fail-safe regulations to preserve the health and well-being of our citizens, ensuring that nothing like what occurred in Charlottesville happens again. The statement added, Governor McAuliffe will issue a related executive order convening a task force headed by Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security Brian Moran to study the safety concerns that arose from the event of August 12. The Department of General Services will craft their new emergency regulations based on the recommendation of this new task force, which will be issued within 3 months. Citing the power invested in me as chief executive by Article 5 of the Constitution of Virginia and the laws of the Commonwealth, he ordered the following. No demonstration shall be authorized at the Lee Monument in the absence of a permit issued by the Department of General Services. The term demonstration includes demonstration, processions, picketing, speech-making, marching, vigils, and all other like forms of conduct that involve the communication or expression of views or grievance engaged in by one or more persons, the conduct of which is reasonably likely to draw a crowd or onlooker. This term includes the display of flags, banners, and other demonstrative designed to communicate a message. Sounds like he's limiting free speech because he don't know how to handle a problem. Sounds like he's limiting free speech because he put the police on standby and caused the death of a woman. The Department of General Services directed to promulgate emergency regulations by November 18, 2017 to cover any public use of the Lee Monument based upon the recommendations from this task force. Several constitutional law experts, none of whom would go on the record on such short notice to comment for fear of retribution. Executive Director of the Virginia ACLU for comment, but has not received any response. Despite McAuliffe assertion the executive order has nothing to do with infringing upon First Amendment rights. One constitutional law expert said that on the background that the executive order violates the First Amendment. A 90-day ban on expression here violates the First Amendment. This sort of restriction is subject to strict scrutiny, under which restriction is presumed unconstitutional. And the government must prove that it is narrowly tailored to achieve a complying public interest. This EU should fail that test. The constitutional law expert anticipates that any legal challenge to executive order will likely end up in the Supreme Court. So, now we have attack on Second Amendment by liberals. They're now attacking the First Amendment. They've been trying to do that for a while. Again, I may not agree with what some people have to say, but they have the right to say it. Liberals, by all means, they're on their way to destroy the Constitution. They hate the Constitution. They're doing everything they can to destroy it, except when it helps them. Then they love the Constitution. When they want to spew their crap, they love the First Amendment. When anybody else wants to talk, oh, no, that's hate speech. We need to curb that. Oh, no, that violates this. We need to curb that. Piss me off when they have the right to say whatever they want and everybody else has to be limited. Maybe if this governor or that mayor, whichever one, didn't put the police into a stand down. Because now you have an officer that has come out, an anonymous source that on the police force, and was told to stand down. That was told to not arrest. They were told to push the protesters into the counter-protesters to cause the violence. I don't know. Sounds pretty plausible to me. I just... This is not the country I grew up. This is not the country I grew up in. Damn, do I look tired. I had some dark circles today. Now, let's see, as part of the reaction to the Charlottesville, the New York Times ran a chilling op-ed by Kay Sue Pack, a housing attorney and the critical race studies fellow at the UCLA School of Law. Jobson noted, adding, the op-ed is chilling because it represents a significant strain in the legal community on campus that freedom of speech needs to be viewed in a social justice narrative. In the New York Times op-ed, the ACLU needs to rethink free speech. Park wrote, the American Civil Liberties Union has a long history of defending free First Amendment rights of groups on both the far left and far right. This commitment led to the organization to successfully sue the city of Charlottesville, Virginia last week on behalf of white supremacist rally organizer. The rally ended with a Nazi sympathizer plowing his car into a crowd, killing counter-protester and injuring many. After the ACLU was exonerated for its stance, it responded that preventing the government from controlling speech is absolutely necessary to the promotion of equality. Of course, that's true. The hope is that by successfully defending hate groups, its legal victories will fortify free speech rights across the board. A rising tide lifts all boats as it goes. The ACLU needs a more contextual, creative advocacy when it comes to how it defends the freedom of speech. The group should imagine a holistic picture of how speech rights are under attack right now, not focus on only First Amendment case law. It must research how new threats to speech are connected to one another and to right-wing power, acknowledging how criminal law, voting laws, immigration law, election laws, and laws governing corporations can also curb expressions would help it develop better policy position. Park's view is standard critical race theory narrative that's what makes it so chilling. And all you have to do is claim anything. The heck went on here? It's weird. Now we got to watch what I do. I just shot the resize up big time. Ooh, I know what I did. All right. All right, where are we at? There we go. No, let me. Sorry. Jeff Flake. There must always be low-skilled immigration to the U.S. He's on his open borders kick again. And you would think, you would really wonder about him right now because, well, his numbers aren't doing that great. I mean, he's below 20% support. He's almost down to 10% support. The guy's not doing good, but yet he continues to run his mouth, and everything he's saying is pissing people off. You would think the guy would back off and say, you know what, maybe I'm wrong on this, and I need to rethink what I'm doing here. No, he just keeps going on about the same shit. Hand goes away. Sorry, I'm fascinated by this. Shows how stupid he is. Oh, crap. I knew something was... Oh, damn, I'm just having issue after issue. Oh, I'm glad this show's almost done. I've totally screwed this show. It just... So, fascism is a left-wing political philosophy, not right-wing. And we've been hearing that a lot lately. They're trying to make fascism a right-wing when it's been left-wing. You have Google redoing a definition to try to fit the narrative. And the clearest definition comes from the Urban Dictionary, believe it or not, and Webster. The Urban Dictionary states the following: fascism. The only official definition of fascism comes from Mussolini, the founder of fascism, in which he outlines 3 principles of the fascist philosophy. Everything in the state. The government is supreme and the country is all-encompassing, and all within it must conform to the ruling body, often a dictator. Nothing outside the state. The country must grow, and the implied goal of any fascist nation is the rule of the world, and have every human submit to the government. Nothing against the state. Any type of questioning the government is not to be tolerated. If you do not see things our way, you are wrong. And if you do not agree with the government, you cannot be allowed to live and taint the minds of the rest of the good citizens. Webster's definition of fascism: a political philosophy, movement, or regime, as that of the fasciitis, that exists and that exalts nations and often race above the individual, that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and a forcible suppression of opposition. To provide contrast, Google defines capitalism: an economic and political system in which countries' trade and industries are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by state. Keep in mind, these aren't sources particular to left or right. Now, the clearest destination I know between left and right is that the left leans more socialist, whereas the right leans more capitalistic. From this, we may confidently conclude that fascism, contrary to popular belief, is a fact, a left-wing political philosophy. So any person who favors capitalism to socialism cannot be considered fascist. Keep this in mind before you label everyone you dislike as fascist. with that, I'm going to wrap the show up. I'll be back tomorrow. Ouch. Come on. Dang software. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and I will check you out tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.